You ever wonder why your life isn't changing, why you keep doing everything right, yet nothing seems to move forward? It's because you're too busy watching everyone else. You scroll through their pictures, their cars, their vacations, and every time you do, you lose a piece of your own focus. You trade your vision for theirs. You forget that your purpose, your fire, was never meant to be compared. Listen, the moment you stop looking at others and start looking within, that's when your life starts to shift. Success doesn't come from competition with others. It comes from obsession with yourself. When you wake up, it should be about you versus you. How strong can I become today? How disciplined can I remain? How much pain can I endure to reach what I dream of? The world doesn't reward the watchers. It rewards the doers, the ones too focused on their grind to care about anyone else's applause. Remember this, the more you focus on them, the less you build you. And one day, when they're done living their lives, you'll realize you never lived yours. Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality. It's the invisible force that separates the talkers from the doers, the weak from the strong, the ordinary from the extraordinary. Discipline means doing what must be done even when you don't feel like it. It's about showing up when no one is watching, putting in the work when motivation fades, and staying committed when excuses feel louder than purpose. Most people crave success but are slaves to their emotions. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect feeling, or the perfect opportunity, but discipline doesn't wait. Discipline acts, it moves, it builds, it transforms. The more you practice it, the more you realize that consistency beats intensity every time. The world doesn't reward talent alone. It rewards the disciplined ones who keep moving forward when others quit halfway. Discipline is not punishment, it's the greatest form of freedom. The reason discipline creates separation is simple: most people can't sustain it. They start strong but burn out fast because they rely on motivation, not structure. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't depend on mood. It's a decision you make daily, regardless of how you feel. Every day you practice discipline, you create a gap between yourself and those who don't. While they rest, you grow. While they complain, you execute. That gap widens until one day you're miles ahead, not because you're better, but because you were consistent. Discipline builds habits, and habits shape destiny. The disciplined rise early, train their minds, and master their emotions. They sacrifice comfort for progress, knowing that temporary pain builds permanent strength. Over time, this dedication becomes their identity. That's the separation, not luck, not chance, but disciplined persistence that compounds into greatness. Focus is where power is born. In a world full of noise, the one who can focus holds an advantage stronger than talent or resources. Focus turns scattered energy into unstoppable momentum. Most people are distracted, pulled in every direction by notifications, opinions, and fears. But focus means cutting through the noise, tuning out the world, and locking in on what truly matters. When you focus, your mind becomes a weapon, sharp and precise. You stop wasting energy on things that don't move you closer to your goals. Every bit of concentration you save becomes power you can use. Focus gives you clarity, and clarity gives you direction. With direction comes confidence. When you know where you're going, you no longer need validation or comparison. You move with purpose because your mind is locked on your vision like a laser. The combination of discipline and focus creates unstoppable momentum. Discipline keeps you consistent. Focus ensures you're moving in the right direction. Together, they build power, not physical power, but mental dominance. You start to realize that success is not about speed. It's about control. The disciplined stay steady, and the focused stay sharp. While others waste energy chasing every opportunity, you channel all your force into one mission. That's how mountains are moved, not by random bursts of effort, but by sustained, focused energy. Discipline gives you the strength to keep going. Focus gives you the wisdom to know where to go. The world is full of people trying to do everything at once, but only those who master focus and discipline create real impact. Power belongs to those who can stay calm, patient, and relentless in pursuit of their purpose. Discipline is not glamorous. It's not about inspiration or applause. It's about repetition, doing the same small actions over and over until they build unshakable results. The disciplined person doesn't chase excitement, they chase progress. They understand that boredom is part of greatness. When others quit because it feels monotonous, the disciplined keep going because they know success hides behind consistency. Every athlete, entrepreneur, or leader who changed the world did so through boring, uncelebrated discipline. It's not the highlight reel that matters, it's the unseen grind. You'll never separate yourself by doing what's easy, you'll separate yourself by mastering what's necessary. Discipline is what allows you to push past average and step into excellence. It's the ability to say no to distractions, no to comfort, no to weakness because you know exactly who you want to become. Focus builds power because it gives your energy a purpose. Without focus, your strength is wasted, your time is scattered, and your potential stays untapped. But once you direct all your effort toward a single goal, everything changes. You stop caring about noise, opinions, and distractions because your eyes are locked forward. Focus transforms chaos into order. It's like light spread out. It's harmless, concentrated, it can cut through steel. The more you focus, the more you align your actions with your ambitions. You begin to move differently, think differently, and live differently. Focus doesn't just help you achieve goals, it reshapes your mindset. It trains your brain to identify what truly matters and ignore the rest. In a world that rewards distractions, mastering focus is a superpower, and those who harness it dominate quietly, efficiently, and completely. The gap between winners and losers is not luck, it's discipline and focus. The undisciplined follow feelings, the disciplined follow principles. The unfocused chase everything, the focused chase one thing until they conquer it. Every time you choose structure over chaos, focus over distraction, you're separating yourself from the crowd. That separation is not immediate, but it's inevitable. People will wonder how you got so far ahead, how you built so much strength, how you became so unstoppable, and the answer will always be the same: discipline and focus. These two forces turn ordinary individuals into forces of nature. They build habits that compound, skills that sharpen, and confidence that cannot be faked. You don't need to shout your progress. The results will speak louder than words. Discipline creates distance. Focus turns distance into dominance, and over time, dominance becomes legacy. When you live with discipline and focus, you start to realize how much control you truly have. Life stops feeling chaotic because you understand that success is a formula, not a mystery. You don't need motivation, you need systems. You don't need hype, you need structure. Discipline gives you command over your time, your habits, and your emotions. Focus gives you clarity over your goals, your priorities, and your path. Together, they give you the power to stay centered while others lose control, the power to keep building while others break down, the power to win without noise. Discipline creates separation, and focus builds power, and when you master both, you no longer chase success. You attract it naturally because the world always bends to those who are disciplined enough to keep going and focused enough to never look away from the mission. Every single morning, the battle begins again, not against society, not against your friends, not against strangers online, but against yourself. The person you were yesterday is your only true competition. They know your weaknesses, your habits, your limits, and your excuses. Beating that version of yourself is what real growth looks like. Most people spend their entire lives watching others, comparing their progress, their success, their happiness, and slowly destroying their own focus. But when you lock in on your own improvement, you enter a different league. You stop needing validation. You stop needing to impress anyone. You realize that every new day is a second chance to rewrite your story. You don't have to be perfect, you just have to be better than who you were yesterday. That's how champions are built, not overnight, but one disciplined self, competing day at a time. The hardest competition is internal because your past self always wants to pull you back into comfort. Yesterday's version of you wants you to stay safe, repeat old patterns, and live easy, But growth doesn't happen in ease, it happens in discomfort, in the moments when you choose discipline over laziness, courage over fear, action over hesitation. The person you were yesterday loves excuses, but the person you're becoming refuses them. You win this inner war by showing up when you don't feel like it, by doing the work even when no one claps for you, by holding yourself accountable when nobody else will. Every small victory over your old habits compounds. Every time you choose the harder path, you grow. That's how greatness is born, not by competing with others, but by defeating the weaker version of yourself again and again. This mindset shifts everything. When you start measuring your success by your own progress, jealousy dies and focus is reborn. You stop comparing timelines and start creating your own. You realize that everyone's journey is unique. Some climb faster, others slower, but none of it matters if you're moving forward. Every day you ask, am I wiser than I was yesterday, stronger, more disciplined? That's how you build momentum. You don't need to chase other people's paths. You need to master your own. When you focus on bettering yourself daily, improvement becomes addictive. You begin to crave progress more than comfort. You begin to fall in love with the grind itself. Life stops being about winning against others. It becomes about winning within yourself, becoming stronger in silence, becoming unrecognizable to who you used to be. The past version of you carries your mistakes, your doubts, and your regrets. But those don't define you, they refine you. Your only task is to learn from them and evolve. Every mistake you made yesterday becomes a lesson that can sharpen you today. Growth means refusing to repeat the same errors, refusing to stay stuck in the same cycle. You can't move forward if you keep dragging your past with you. Let it teach you, not trap you. The person you were yesterday failed, struggled, cried, but they also got you here. Honor that version, but don't stay there. Use their pain as fuel. The strongest people are not the ones who have never fallen, they're the ones who rise higher each time they do. Be grateful for yesterday's struggles. They are the blueprint for today's strength. Most people underestimate how powerful daily improvement is. They think transformation happens through massive change, but it's the small, consistent upgrades that redefine who you are. Read one more page. Do one more rep. Take one more step. Each day you outgrow your old habits, your old doubts, your old fears. You're evolving. The person you were yesterday might have hesitated, but the person you're becoming acts. They take control. They understand that progress is not instant. It's built quietly, one disciplined choice at a time. You don't have to transform in a week, just commit to getting 1% better daily. That 1% compounds. Over weeks, it becomes mastery. Over months, it becomes transformation. Over years, it becomes unshakable confidence. You don't need perfection. You need persistence, and persistence begins when you decide that yesterday's version of you is not good enough anymore. When you compete with yourself, you stop being affected by noise. People's opinions lose their power because you realize they don't know your fight. They don't see the battles you win silently. You're not here to prove them wrong, you're here to prove yourself right. The world rewards those who stay focused on their lane. The more you pour into yourself, the more distance you create between who you are and who you used to be. That separation is what success truly is. You don't climb by watching others, you climb by building yourself. Stay obsessed with self-improvement. Study your habits, refine your mindset, guard your focus. Every hour you invest in yourself multiplies your value. Every time you resist distraction, you strengthen your control. Eventually, you won't need to compete with anyone because the person you've become will be in a league of their own. Self-competition is freedom. It frees you from judgment, comparison, and insecurity. You stop rushing because you understand that progress has no finish line. There's no deadline for personal growth. There's only the next level. The person you were yesterday might have been weaker, but they gave you a foundation. Now it's your turn to build higher. Self-competition demands honesty. You have to admit your flaws, your laziness, your wasted time, and then fix them. It's not easy to face yourself, but it's necessary if you want to rise. Growth is not about pretending to be better than others. It's about being brutally honest with yourself and taking action to improve. Every day is a new opportunity to outgrow your past, to prove that your future deserves a better version of you than yesterday ever offered. Each day you win this inner battle, you become harder to stop. Your mindset changes, your habits strengthen, your focus sharpens. You stop chasing external validation because your results become your proof. You don't need to tell anyone you're improving, they'll feel it in your energy, your discipline, your presence. The person you were yesterday could have never handled what you're managing now. That's growth. The version of you who once doubted now believes. The one who once hesitated now acts. That's the beauty of self. Competition, it never ends, but it always rewards. The more you win against yourself, the more you realize that success isn't about having more. It's about becoming more. When you understand that truth deeply, every morning becomes another chance to defeat your past and step closer to your potential. At the end of the day, life isn't about being better than anyone else, it's about being better than who you were yesterday. Every single sunrise gives you a new opportunity to build, to grow, to evolve. The real competition is not in the world outside, but in the war within. It's between the disciplined version of you that wants to rise and the lazy version that wants to stay the same. It's between the focused mind that sees purpose and the distracted one that seeks comfort. If you can win that battle daily, you can conquer anything. You don't need validation from others because real power comes from knowing that you showed up, gave your best, and improved, even if just a little. Stop comparing, stop complaining, and start becoming. Each day is your canvas painted with discipline, focus, and effort. Remember, success isn't built overnight. It's built quietly, consistently, in the shadows of persistence. Be proud of your journey because every step forward, no matter how small, means you've already beaten the person you were yesterday. Keep grinding, keep growing, and never stop evolving. Thank you for listening. Thank you for believing in your potential. And thank you for choosing to rise when it's easier to stay still. Stay focused, stay disciplined, and remember your only competition is the person you were yesterday. God bless you, and keep pushing forward with strength, purpose, and faith.